Welcome to This Explainer, everyone. Today we're looking at something that honestly sounds like a prop from a sci-fi movie, but it's happening right now, out in your local bogs. I want you to just imagine for a second, a living, breathing stomach, but not one neatly tucked away inside an animal. Imagine an external stomach sitting right out in the open, perfectly still, just waiting. And the most astonishing part? It can literally count your every move. We're going to decode the lethal botanical machinery that turns a seemingly simple green leaf into a calculating predator. Let's uncover the hidden, high-tech world of the Venus Flytrap. So, what if a plant could actually count? It's wild, right? It kind of challenges everything we assume about the passive, quiet lives of plants. Imagine being a tiny insect just wandering across a nice green surface, completely unaware that you're standing on a highly sensitive botanical machine. A machine that is actively tracking your presence. It doesn't just feel you there, it's monitoring you, waiting for the absolute perfect moment to seal your fate in literally milliseconds. How does a plant with no brain, no nervous system whatsoever, pull off such a precise, calculated ambush? Okay, let's dive into this. Part 1, the calculating predator. We're going to look at how microscopic sensory hairs act as biological tripwires. To understand this whole biological mystery, we've got to look at the inner leaf, which is lined with these tiny microscopic hairs. Now, don't think of these as just plant fuzz. These are highly sensitive biological tripwires, the absolute front line of a predatory operation. And what's super fascinating is the logic driving them. The plant uses what's known as binary logic, basically a system requiring two sequential stimuli to confirm an action. See, the Venus flytrap isn't just mindlessly reacting, it's remarkably intelligent. If it snaps shut every time a heavy raindrop fell or a stray twig blew past, it would completely exhaust its energy on false alarms. It absolutely needs that second touch to definitively confirm that, yep, dinner has actually arrived and it's not just a trick of the wind. So the crucial point is 20. The plant operates on an incredibly strict 20-second memory window. If a bug brushes against just one of those microscopic hairs, the plant immediately starts a countdown. 1, 2, 3. If that bug manages to fly away or just freezes completely still for 21 seconds, the plant actually resets the clock. Nothing happens. But if that bug takes just one more step, touching a hair a second time within that exact 20-second window, boom, the trap is sprung. Let's break down this exact sequence. Step 1, that first touch arms the system. The tripwire is officially engaged. Step 2, the invisible 20-second countdown begins, which acts kind of like a short-term memory for the plant. And finally, step 3, the fatal second touch. When that second touch hits within the time limit, it triggers what's called a rapid action potential. This is basically a massive electrical surge that essentially mimics a human nervous system. It fires an instantaneous signal straight into the leaf cells, commanding them to act right that very second. Let's move to and see how this builds in part 2, the hydraulic prison, where we witness the terrifying physical transformation of the leaf. The exact moment that electrical surge hits those leaf cells, you're looking at one of the fastest, most terrifying movements in the entire plant kingdom. This whole transformation is an absolute hydraulic masterpiece. Plants don't have muscles to flex like animals do, right? Instead, when the electrical signal hits, it forces the cells to rapidly, instantly dump water. Because of this, the leaf literally flips its fundamental geometry in a fraction of a second. It goes from a concave shape, like a nice, welcoming, shallow bowl, to a convex shape, forcefully snapping shut. It is definitely not a slow, gentle fold. It's an instantaneous, explosive inversion. Once that trap snaps, the long spikes on the edges tightly interlock, basically building a set of biological prison bars. But here's the truly dark reality of the whole thing. The prey's panic seals its own tomb. As the insect suddenly realizes it's trapped, obviously it naturally starts thrashing around. But inside that cage, every single struggle, every kick, just trips more and more of those sensory hairs. The prey's desperate panic is literally what signals the plant to tighten its grip, shifting the trap from a sort of loose cage of spikes into a totally hermetic, airtight seal. Now for part 3, nature's external stomach. Here, the leaf ceases to be a leaf in any traditional sense and fuses shut. And this brilliantly illustrates one of nature's greatest evolutionary mysteries. The edges lock together seamlessly, and the inside transforms into nature's external stomach. Think about it. This completely green, stationary plant, rooted in swamp mud, has somehow evolved the exact same chemical breakdown methods as vertebrate stomachs. It's a predator, relying on the very same chemistry as a wolf tearing into its catch, or even a human digesting dinner, all to liquefy a trapped insect. Crazy, right? To pull this off, the interior glands of the sealed leaf start pumping out a seriously lethal chemical cocktail. We're talking acid phosphases and proteases. These highly corrosive enzymes flood that totally sealed chamber, and they meticulously break down the hard outer exoskeleton of the prey. It literally dissolves the insect's armor and inner tissues, completely liquefying the whole thing into this bioavailable, nutrient-rich insect soup. It is just a relentless, methodical, and totally ruthless chemical dismantling of the prey. Which brings us to part 4, this swamp survival strategy. You really have to ask, why would a plant expend so much massive metabolic energy on all of this? Why bother growing tripwires, counting seconds, executing a hydraulic snap, and synthesizing corrosive stomach acids? Well, the environment is the core problem here. The Venus flytrap lives in extremely boggy, acidic soils, which for a plant means facing an extreme nutrient void. There's practically zero food in the dirt. So, this wildly elaborate trap is the botanical solution. As the insect dissolves into that soup we just talked about, the plant deploys specialized microscopic transport proteins. These act like tiny pumps, extracting vital bioavailable nitrogen and phosphorus straight from the soup directly into the plant's vascular system. Literally, it is the only way it can survive. It's not eating just because it's hungry, it's eating for oxygen, for growth, for life itself. And as you'd guess, this whole meal life cycle takes time. At 0 seconds, you have that explosive hydraulic snap. Then, for the next week, basically days 1 through 6, the plant is locked into chemical digestion and microscopic pumping. It is 100% focused on extracting every single drop of nitrogen and phosphorus. Finally, right around day 7, all the fluid is reabsorbed, the stomach peels back open, turning back into a normal-looking leaf, and the totally hollowed-out dry husk of the victim is just discarded like trash. And just like that, the trap is officially reset, patiently waiting for its next spark. Finally, part 5, blueprint for future tech. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how this ancient swamp survival story translates directly to modern human engineering. This story absolutely doesn't end in the bog. The Venus flytrap is no longer just a weird botanical curiosity. It has literally become a blueprint for our future tech. By 2026, engineers are actively aiming to use the plant's hydraulic snap mechanism to develop advanced biosensors for soft robotics. Imagine machines that can move smoothly and react instantaneously, entirely without rigid, clunky joints. Plus, by studying how this exact plant uses electrical signaling to communicate inside its own biological systems, agricultural scientists are trying to engineer climate-resilient crops that can literally sense real-time changes in their environment and react immediately to save themselves from a drought or extreme weather. We are quite literally borrowing the most advanced machinery on Earth, made of green walls and electric hair instead of silicon and steel. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a slightly eerie thought to chew on. It might be more aware of you than you are of it. The next time you're out for a walk and you brush past a plant, take just a second to consider the silent, invisible intelligence buzzing right beneath the surface. It is watching, it's counting, and it's reacting in ways we are honestly only just beginning to understand. Thanks so much for exploring this with me today, and keep that curiosity alive.